Hello, in this video, I'm going to help familiarize you with the RUBS program here at KMB. So, what is RUBS? RUBS is an acronym for Ratio Utility Billing System. When individual meters are not available, the RUBS program allows us to bill a reasonable amount per resident for utility services used. So, anytime that we don't have individual meters for each apartment, this program allows us to kind of divide up the utilities. So if you've ever had a roommate and you guys split the utilities, you paid 50%, they paid 50%, that's essentially what's underneath and what's happening with the RUBS program. How is RUBS calculated? So it's the total bill divided by the total number of residents. Just like that example with you and your old roommate, you paid 50%, they paid 50%. That's essentially what's happening here. Let's get into an example. So let's say we've got a fourplex, it's 4 units, it's 4 one-bedroom apartments in this fourplex. Let's pretend the trash charge is $100. Well, that's easy, right? 100 divided by 4. Each unit is going to pay $25, right? Anytime there are vacant units within the complex, let's say in our fourplex example, unit A is actually vacant. The owner is going to pay based on the traditional occupancy of that unit. So traditionally, a one-bedroom unit is going to be occupied by one adult. So in that instance, the owner is going to pay the unit A utilities of $25, and the other units are going to be paid by those residents. So let's expand that example just a little bit. Let's say we've got our fourplex, we've got 3 units occupied, and middle of the month we have a fourth resident actually move in. So how does that separate it out? How's that divided out? Well, units B, C, and D, who have been there the entire month, would pay each of those $25 charges, right? They're each going to pay $25 for their share. Unit A, the landlord's going to pay the first half of the month of $12.50, and the new resident who's there for the second half of the month is going to pay the other $12.50. So in this case, it was actually divided by 5 total people. It's just that unit A's was separated out. So let's get into another example here. We've got our fourplex, right? We've got 4 units, but this time we've kind of adjusted the occupants to kind of help illustrate the way that this all breaks down. So we're at 123 Main Street, and the water bill is $100. Looking at these occupancies, we've got Unit A with 2 occupants, Unit B has 3 occupants, Unit C has 1 occupant, and Unit D has 2 occupants, just like Unit A. Our total bill is $100, but this time we've got 8 total residents. So we're going to take that $100 divided by 8. And each resident then is responsible for $12.50. So looking at Unit A, we've got 2 occupants. So it's just going to be $12.50 times 2 is going to equal the $25 charge. Unit B has 3 occupants. So it's going to be $12.50 times the 3 occupants for that $37.50. Unit C has 1 occupant. So it's $12.50 times 1 equals $12.50. And Unit D, just like Unit A, has 2 occupants. So it's 2 times $12.50 equals $25. In addition to dividing up the bill, we actually also have a service fee on top of dividing up this bill, making sure that residents are getting invoices, which we're going to talk about in just a minute here, and this whole process. So because there's all of these steps involved, there is a service fee as well, which is actually charged per unit, not per resident. So per unit is $6.16. So Unit A's total bill is that $25 plus $6.16 is $31.16. Unit B, again, $37.50 plus 616 for 4366. Unit C is 1250 plus 616, that's 1866. And Unit D, just like Unit A. So then we get into the common question of how much will my portion be? And due to the nature of residents moving in and out, maybe someone's significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, etc., moves in to their unit, gets added to the lease. Someone else maybe breaks up and they move out of the unit, or someone has a child and that changes the unit count. All of these things affect how much each portion will be. Also, the individual costs, I'm sorry, the cost of the utilities is dependent on resident usage. So in some months, we may use more of a specific utility than we will others. As winter rolls around, we're all going to turn our heat up a little bit, right, to stay more comfortable. So resident usage as well as resident occupancy makes it very difficult to figure out these numbers ahead of time. So the next question is how do I receive my invoice? How do I know how much to pay if it's going to vary from month to month or season to season? Like how will I know it? And there are two places that you can get this information. One, there's going to be an email sent out every month by the 20th of the month. You will receive an email with your invoice, and we're going to look at that in just a second. The other place to look is your tenant portal, which is exactly where you go to look at your rent charges. Those are going to be the two places that you can get this information. Let's look at the email first. So we've got an example here, July 2023 RUBS Utilities. This is what it looks like, a RUBS monthly utility billing. The email at rentmanager.com. Rent Manager is the software program that we use to help keep track of all of this information. And there is an invoice attached right here. The body will read, please find your RUBS Utilities invoice attached. This can be paid through your TWA portal and is due on the first of the month. So we're going to look at this invoice and we're going to find out when this is actually due. So this is what the invoices will look like. In the top left, you're going to have your name and address, your invoice number, and your invoice date. All right. So then we've got property and unit and account number, balance due, amount enclosed. Under description, we've got this breakdown of these four charges that are charged. June 2023 for gas, the total charge was $1.26. For water, it's $16.40. Trash is $5.46, and then we've got our service fee of $6.16. So the total bill for this is just $29.28, and it's due by the first of the month, 8/1/2023. So I'm going to go ahead and just pay this with my rent and make sure that it's there by the first along with rent and that we're good to go. Now, how do I pay my bill? And the answer to that is just like rent. The fastest, most secure way is to pay online. If you don't have a online portal set up, you'll want to reach out to the office and make sure you get one set up. Like I said, it's the fastest way to get it done, and it's also the most secure. You don't have to worry about a check getting lost in the mail or anywhere else along the way. Your rent will be paid if you do it online. That is going to be the easiest way for you to take advantage of that. Also, you can set up auto payments so that you just don't have to think about it and you know that you're ready to go every month. It's taken care of. For a lot of people, this is a new concept. There's a lot going on underneath this, and it can get a little confusing. So if you have any questions at all, reach out to your local KMB office. Email is always the fastest way to get a hold of us. and make sure that you have a great understanding of how this works. There's also the RUBS FAQ, and that's a great place to look for this information as well. If you are renting in Iowa City, the your local office is going to be the Iowa City office. It's office IC at kmbmanagement.com. If you're in Cedar Rapids, you're going to email croffice at kmbmanagement.com. I hope this helps clear up any confusion. Please reach out if you have any other questions.